morning everyone. I'm going to talk a little bit before I start today. I don't normally do this because I get quite nervous when I start, to be totally honest, and I do about 50 false starts. But even if I muck this up, I'm just going to put it out as it is. First thing I wanted to say thank you to everybody who watches. Even the subscribing bit, it's mainly the people who watch and people who comment as well. I know subscribing is nice too because I don't know why it is. I think it's I'm not going to do a second one. I'm just going to leave it as that. I'm going to leave it as that. Also, if you're interested, please check out my Patreon. There's a beautiful group of people over there. Very open, very honest, share a lot of themselves. And you just get a little bit more of what you get here on YouTube. You get personal readings. You don't. Yeah, you do actually get personal readings. You get more access to personal readings. I'm still teaching at the moment, so I can do a group number of readings each week. And then, of course, people being on Patreon, I'll give them to them first. And then if I have some left, then I put them out to the general public on Sundays. So you do get more access to readings, or easier access to readings. You also get week ahead readings each week, and you get their thoughts and feelings updates each week. You get a newsletter. What else do you get? Early bird YouTube reads. So basically you get them before everybody else does. And competitions, and silly competitions. And generally I'm hoping to make it a bit of fun, light-hearted, but still the same sort of thing you're getting here, just more of it, and there's a broad aspect to it. What else did I want to say? I think that's it, basically. I'm going to tell you about your reading. Your reading today is about Eros. Eros fascinates me for two different things, because it's to do with relationships, because it's that passion that basically runs through other aspects in your life. And we normally have so much drive to personal relationships, especially love relationships, which most tarot channels, actually are geared towards, I suppose, because what makes the world tick. You switch on your TV, you switch, like MTV, it's just like lots of people gyrating. It is, honestly, it's like a pull. It's like that rub that you just can't get away from. So a lot of things are geared towards that, but Eros is more than that. Eros is our passion for ourselves and how we show up in life. In your chart, it is once again really interesting, because it acts like Mars. It's like a timer to show you when it transits around your chart. It's like a timer to show you where your passions lie and with who your passions lie. So that's why we look at it in relationships. If you follow Eros around your chart in a transit, you often have an encounter with somebody you've got a crush on, or somebody that you're attracted to, and it tells you, this is showing up in your world. You have manifested this person at this time to show you what makes you tick, and vice versa. So it's great to check somebody else's chart as well. What else did I want to say before I go? Not that I'm going anywhere. Yeah, just basically, it's not just relationships. Relationships are lots of things, but it's all about you at the end of the day, and what makes you run in life. What makes you give, what makes you be yourself, where are your drives, and what you're aiming at. It wakes us all up to show us where we're going. Anyway, saying that, let's get going. Today's reading is, I don't know what it's going to be titled yet, because basically how YouTube goes, as you all know, you have to put a title up that grabs people's attention. Oftentimes I think, well, sod that, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to put up what I'm thinking. I hate that jumping through hoops to be part of a system. Yeah, I think I do. But, I also like playing as well. So it's all a bit of fun. Your reading today is Eros, your passion. We're going to look at basically what you can pick out of this, what your passion actually is, how others perceive it, and how lovers perceive it. So it's a bit of a reading about you, what you're pushing out and what makes you tick. So you've got three choices. You have got Troll. I was going to say Viking then, but I have a few Swedish people watching who are informing me of these Swedish trinkets I've been getting hold of. And that's Troll, monochrome cat, Swedish horse. I've got some more Swedish things at my mum's house I shall steal as well. Steal back after giving them in the first place. So you've got three choices. There you go. Okay, pile number 1. There's a really, really strong feeling about you. You know, as yourself, you're coming across as the Tower and the Sun as the major arcana in here, and you're coming across as Vesta. So to me, this is somebody that burns deep. This is somebody who has passion and who has drive. And I think you're very focused. You've also got down here for you, you've got the 4 of Wands and you've got the Queen of Pentacles here. To me, it's like a force to be reckoned with. It's like somebody who has worked inwardly, knows what they want, and has, I suppose what I'm thinking here, is somebody that's worked inwardly, knows what they want, and has I know I'm thinking the dog's barking downstairs. The health, which I'm thinking the internal health to get moving with it. You know, some people possibly are focused in some way but don't actually have the power inside them. So, excuse me. Sorry, postman. What I was trying to say here, I get the impression of somebody who's very stable, somebody who's very focused, but has the internal energy to actually complete things, to get them started and to make an impact on other people, I'm guessing here. You've got Vesta here, which is the fire that burns. That adds to the Tower card, that adds to the Sun card, and this adds to the consistency of the Queen of Pentacles and the 4 of Wands here. So this is magnificent energy. It just feels like somebody, when you put your mind to something, you've got to be sure it's the correct thing to put your mind to, because you're like the Chariot. Once you get going, you really get going. It's like you often get people who have like strong charts, you know, charts possibly lots of squares in them, lots of T-squares. They've got to be careful where they actually focus their energy, especially with a T-square, because it is a huge hump of energy and can go, well, basically can mow through things. So where you put your energy, you know, and all the way through all these readings, it's like whatever you do in your life, however you interpret the cards, however you take whatever I say, it's all in your grasp, if you know what I mean. And it's the same as like a birth chart. That's all in your grasp to take you whichever way you want it to go. We all have free will. This is you, I'm guessing, who has free will. No, not has free will, but has energy that is incredibly strong. So it's like, be careful where you aim it with this. This is like somebody who needs to check that they're doing anything and everything for the good of not only themselves but others, because it feels like you could rip-roar through life and uproot people in some way and tear people to shreds if you focused your energy that way. So there's an extra call on you to maintain and control your inner self, because it's strong. This is a strong feeling. The Tower card is basically everything crumbling, rebuilding yourself. The Sun card to me always makes me think of initiation. It's understanding why you're here. And that's why it's childlike, because the reason I keep talking about, even got fun up here. And it always seems really childish, because the fun card, I like this because I remember watching, not reading Cat in the Hat. I can't have fun without you in the middle. You know, and we need other people in our lives to make ourselves grow. But this Sun card here, it's not to be childish, it's to be childlike. It's to see everything fresh with open eyes, and that is part of life. The Tower card, basically, once you've covered your eyes and you're functioning in the world in a way that you think you should be functioning, because everything else is, you know, everything's cracked in some way. Not everything, a lot of things in the world are cracked in some ways, because we've been led down some merry path where things feel good, and so we follow it even more. You know, money feels good, eating feels good, sex feels good, so they're like, well, let's do that, and we can take us down a path where we go too far down that path, and it's to bring it back, which is probably very much the Chariot card. And then you've got this Tower moment here where you possibly realise that you may have worked too hard in your teens or your 20s, or you may have had a couple of difficult relationships that have pulled you to shreds. But in actually standing up and getting up from that, you get to the Sun card, which is understanding and ease, inner ease with yourself. It's like, be a child again, you know, step back and play. Let everybody else come to their own conclusions and don't let that affect you. You know, that type of feeling of you've burnt yourself, you know what it feels like. You know, people who have this energy, and oftentimes I think of fire signs as well, who burn brightly, and they do mow through life and they end up getting hurt and wondering where on earth it came from. And that's when you revert back to the, I suppose it is Leo even so, the Sun card of realising, oh my gosh, this is very passionate, of realising that it's the playful elements of Leo, isn't it? It's that you're still burning from the inside. You're still alive. You're still here. It's how it works. It's the higher mind, I suppose. Very much like the Strength card. Yeah, that is the Strength card. So, I'm getting the impression of somebody that burns inside and probably has a big impact on life and other people, and how you manage that is extremely important. There's this very focused feeling here. You've got the Queen of Pentacles next to these cards, which make me think of somebody who's internally alive, consciously alive, and then you've got these cards here of stability. And that's when I got to that bit where you need to be focused. I think you are focused. I think that once you've set your mind to it, I get a fixed feeling of being determined to get there, but there's always that check we have to do all day, every day. Are we doing the right things? Are we choosing the right choice? And I know I sound like your mum, but it is that feeling here because it's fixed with power. So where are you directing it? Oh my God, beautiful. Right, then let's have a look, pile number one, at how others perceive you. Not lovers, but others. Others perceive you, Ace of Pentacles. That is probably a self-starter, somebody who is very, very much this feeling of showing up in life and getting things going, of being able to push into situations, initiate situations, and have the confidence to do that. You've got here the High Priestess as well. The High Priestess is the major arcana in this power for how others perceive you. Somebody who has internal workings, and you may be somebody they come to for advice, or somebody they know has a inner leaning on how to make things work. Because you've got somebody reading books, somebody learning, somebody who's quite intuitive. Intuitive is a really funny thing, because intuition to me, I always think of Uranus. Uranus, I always think of speed, I think of electricity, I think of downloads. And that's what intuition is. It doesn't mean that you're psychic, you just get things that little bit faster. And you get things a little bit faster than that makes you a genius. And you get things a little bit faster than that. And I don't know what the word is. It's savant? I don't know. But it's just like the speed of the way that you get things. So the Ace of Pentacles, to me, how others see you, is a self-starter. Somebody who's very focused in life, can get things moving. You make things happen. You may do it in a very quiet way because you've got the Princess of Cups, you've got the High Priestess there. But this is somebody that you've got all the power inside you. People can perceive that. People can see it. But the Ten of Cups, the Princess of Cups, you may have a good emotional grounding. I don't know whether you've got like a good family life, whether you've got friends behind you, or whether you just seem emotionally content. But once again, with the Princess of Cups and the Sun here, there's something quite sweet about you. It feels again a bit like the Fool card. You know, the Fool card plays silly, but the Fool card holds all the cards. The Fool card is us before we start dishing cards out and pretending who we are in everyday life. Oh my gosh, magnificent pile, magnificent pile. Ten of Cups, Princess of Cups, which is the Page of Cups, is emotional. People perceive you as being content in yourself, but you may not. With the Princess of Cups, makes me think possibly a bit timid, maybe a bit shy. You feel like you don't have to share all this energy with people, but they can sense it. They can sense what's going on behind the surface, behind the curtain, and they probably try and put you into positions where you help people. The Ace of Pentacles here. I'm assuming in a work situation that you're the solid one that people don't mind putting you out into the public because you're not boasty. What is boasty? I was reading the other day, what was that guy, the Idris Elba? Why doesn't he put his tea in boasty? My mum would tell him off for that. And I'm assuming it's a different word that is probably very sort of hip and cool, but what is it? Somebody please tell me. You're not boasty. I'm not going to sing the song for you. But you're powerful and people know it. And I think, you've got the Ten of Cups, you've got these solid cards down here, you've got the Princess of Cups. There's a lot going on below the surface. You're not somebody that people like to rumble because they know they're going to get a volcano back. Vesta, fire, the Tower, the Sun, awareness, solid sort of showing up in life, initiating things, how people perceive you, the High Priestess. people know that you know what you're doing, and we never get there, do we? All trying to work really hard on ourselves all the time. You know, it's always a case of, well, you know, you get people that show up in life and they're really, really confident, you know. And I'm only just getting this as I'm getting to like 140. You know, you get people who show up in life and they're like trick trap into your workplace, or, you know, and they're always, you know, I'm not the good people. It's the, well, not everybody's good in their own way. It's the ones that tip to arrogance, I suppose. And I always think, yeah, you're really good at harnessing what you do, but you can never. You don't know it all. None of us know it all. We'll learn every day. And I think openness is something that's important. With the High Priestess and these childlike cards, it feels like you've worked really hard. You've got the power behind you, but there's an openness there, which I think is important. I don't know if everybody else does. This pile is beautiful. It's like inner contentment as well with the Ten of Cups. Solid foundation, inner contentment, childlike openness, solid inner life. Oh, my lovely. Okay, the Justice card for lovers. Now, lovers, to me, the Justice card with the little doves here, or with the olive branches, there's something very Libra, of course, about that. It's a feeling of a group situation, of being, once again, balanced in yourself. It's somebody who loves and can be loved back. Somebody who shares, somebody who communicates, somebody who's there, somebody who, I'm looking at the rest of your cards here, is romantic. The reason I'm saying is romantic here is you've the back of the pile. For some reason, I don't normally pull the back of the pile out when there's individual ones, because there's 3 individual piles to pull out because I've got different types of cards. But you had the Lovers and the Hierophant. So there might be something quite traditional in the way that you express your love. But once again, I think the intensity is there. The fact I got the Lovers with the Justice. So that is romantic intensity. I wonder whether love is a big part of your life. I have a feeling here with these cards at the beginning, you know how to give love. But I also have the feeling here that where you possibly trip yourself up here, that passion, that drive that comes out in your inner life could very much be something that you hold back for your romantic relationships, because the Tower card here makes me think, and you've got that twice, that you expect intensity in romantic relationships because it feels exciting, because you feel involved in life. But with the Moon card here, there's confusion, and the Page of Pentacles here makes me think that you put less of your mundane qualities, I don't know how to say that, into your relationships. It's almost like the Moon next to the Page of Pentacles. You can get sometimes lost in the fantasy and the excitement and the drama of personal relationships, which could sometimes, with the Tower card there, be your downfall, because you know this already. We can't own the people that we're with. We can't use power in personal relationships. We have to have a soft touch in relationships, even when it feels like, you know, it feels fantastic. It feels like you're probably the Moon. It feels like you're drowning in some way. And the Lovers card here, the Justice card here, and the Hierophant card here makes me think that you need like a plutonic, with the Tower there, a plutonic one-to-one relationship, and then you're all in. And of course, you know, as life happens, you know, people disappoint us and you're like, what on earth? I put all this power and energy into this. And they're like, well, I'm only a person. So to me, the most fantastic power that I could imagine, I would say here, with the Queen of Pentacles here at the beginning, your inner nature, and a solid foundation to intense energy in your love relationships, but it goes back down to the Page of Pentacles next to the Moon. There's something that you have to actually put this structure that is you, that you give to others in general relationships and general situations, into your personal relationships. Enjoy it, but almost go back to the sun. Come away from the tower, go back to the sun. You've fallen down before. You know what the sun, you've woken up before. So almost put that into relationships. It's almost like saying, you know, relax. Relax in it. Just give. Just give because that's you. Let the other person give back and enjoy it and enjoy being loved. But don't ask that much. Don't ask for, with the 2 tower cards here on either side, one at the beginning, one at the end. Don't ask for too much fantastic drama. It's really difficult to say that because I understand that, you know, I understand what it feels like. But I also understand the older I get that actually does burn. It does burn. It's nice to enjoy it, but you've got to be open. You've got to be really astute to enjoy it and not get too attached and not to burn the other person as well. Okay, I'm going to finish there, pile number 1, because I think if I add to it, I'll be saying the same thing again, but I will just summarise it before I go. You're coming across with regards to your passion, with regards to how you basically show up in life as having a huge amount of energy that you can direct extremely well. There's something inside you that burns. It makes me think of very strong contacts to angles from big planets. It makes me think of a strong Eros or a strong Pluto. There's a Pluto feel because the tower cards at either end. The way that you show up to other people is quiet but fearsome. They smell it underneath you. They smell that you shouldn't be messed with, but you come across as being very stable. The way that you come across in personal relationships is very romantic, very giving, very much somebody who likes to fall in love, somebody who likes to almost swim in emotions in some way. But you've got the Page of Pentacles here, the Queen of Pentacles here, which bats down that sort of earthy feeling of being actually in reality. So you do, with the Moon next to it, get lost in it. The Tower card there at the end and the beginning is probably, that's where your lesson may lie, is understand your passion in one-to-one relationships and understand that you need to give softly. Give softly and accept softly back. Even though the tower feels exciting. But it's soft love. It's like tough, soft love, which I suppose we all need to use with ourselves. Yeah. Okay. Justice card for your end pile, for your lover's pile, is lovely because it just is romance. You know, you've got to enjoy life, but you've not got to end up scarring yourself or others in the process. You've got to enjoy it all the way through, not just those really fantastic, intense moments. And I'm going to go now. Thank you very much, pile 1. Bye. Okay, pile number 1. Interesting. There's a feeling here with you of I can't think of the correct words to say, with you just as you are and your inner power and your inner passion. There's a feeling of knowing and sweetness and doubt in some way. It makes me think of somebody who, okay, I don't know what I'm talking about here, but you know, you used to get, I don't know if you still do, you know, there's sort of like people, well, these like terms that are used, and I think it's just a term for energy. You know, they talk about the Pleiadians, or they talk about star seeds. And you've got the shaman here, you've got psyche here, which makes me think of somebody who's got it all, who knows what they're doing, has come back, maybe in this lifetime, just to nudge everybody in the right direction some way. Then you've got cards, the Lovers, and you've got the Two of Pentacles. And I wonder all day whether you have, I suppose this energy, I'm thinking, may not fit into everyday life. You may possibly find life quite harsh, because if you have what I'm thinking with the Shaman and Psyche there, an innate ability to see through things and sensitivity towards other people, it can be painful. And this, like, doubtful cards I've got here of decisions, like the Lovers and the Two of Swords, it's like you can't decide sometimes in some things, because you can often feel like you're swimming in a harsh world. Because you have got this card here, you've got cards of being indecisive with the Lovers and the Two of Pentacles, not knowing which decision to take, but you've got very sort of what I would say the Shaman and the Psyche card there, all-knowing cards. So with regards to your passion, it feels like your passion is a quiet burn and a quiet knowing, and it's not a full rumble like the first pile. It feels like, I've been here before. I know what it feels like to get embroiled in life. And so you might be slightly tainted by that in some way as well. But it feels like you have the ability to understand why you are here. It feels like you're content in yourself. It feels like you're at ease yourself. But there's bits about you that actually find the outside world quite jarring, is what I'm thinking here. Awareness, intuition, sensitivity, huge sensitivity, doubt in yourself I'm getting from the Lovers here and the Two of Swords, which is very much a case of people who question it, because you say, like, you know, you just say, just imagine that, because I suppose this is what they mean by the Pleiadians, just imagine there was somebody from another world who functioned correctly in every situation, you know, worked extremely hard on themselves to be at this level where they function correctly, and you put them into our everyday scenarios that we have here. Oh my Lord, you know, what we do in whatever grounds, whether it's political or whether it's just generally an everyday work situation, or how we function in relationships. You, if this was you, would be like, oh my Lord, I can't remember who I am, I feel it, what on earth is going on? And this is what this pile feels like, all-knowing, sensitive, and sometimes you feel as if you possibly can't express your true inner self because you feel that it won't fit in. You feel that you don't march to the same beat as other people, possibly, because you wonder what on earth are you doing? It is honestly chasing your tail, like headless chickens. You know, I must be this, I must be that, I must have this, I must own this, I must make myself unhappy and do this in this relationship or this job. And you're like sitting there very quietly thinking, what on earth? I guess from this pile here. Now, your middle part here is how others perceive your passion and your energy, which to me feels subdued and honest. Because doubt to me makes me think of honesty, because you're questioning yourself. To have, you know, incredibly strong confidence in a mad world, you've got to be either somebody quite Buddha-like or lost in the outside world. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm showing up, I'm doing this, I'm functioning. But I think generally with this energy that you've got, it's more like you're questioning yourself, because, you know, things don't always click into place. Things don't feel right. I don't actually know what a Buddha is. Is there other different types of Buddhas, or is there just the one? I think there's just the one. I don't know. Okay. And no insult to people, if people's religions or spiritual choices there. I honestly, I don't know. I don't know. The Two of Pentacles, how people perceive you, is the Magician and the Chariot, and that's quite interesting. Okay, you've got here central cards are strong cards of you know what you're made of, you know what you've got, and this is what people perceive of you and your passion and the way you're going. And the Chariot card is quite passionate. The Chariot card to me is pulling in those different aspects. I'm getting from this feeling here, especially when you've got another two, the Two of Pentacles, and the Chariot card, which are both twos, all three are twos in some way, of pulling in that energy here of spiritual insight, I'm guessing, and understanding the outside world and making it work. I don't think here, I don't know, because you've got the King of Pentacles down here, which is grounding it, but the Two of Pentacles, which is going around in circles, makes me think that, back to this doubt card again, that sometimes you trust yourself, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you trust yourself, sometimes you don't. Oh, look at me, I'm functioning in the outside world. Oh no, I'm crying in my bedroom. You know, it's that type of feeling here. And people possibly pick up that there's a sensitivity there, but you function well in the outside world, but they know that there's something different about you, something that understands and something that doesn't like to get hurt. I think very sort of watery people would understand you very well. Especially Scorpio, because there's a strength behind you and there's an emotional feeling behind you. And it feels to me as if it's like a young energy of somebody who, it's like tiptoeing into cold sea. It's like, I know I've got to do it. Oh my God. You know, it feels nice. It feels sweet. Your energy feels sweet to me. And other people must perceive your passion as being a gentle, yeah, the Two of Pentacles here, it's like the tide coming in. It's like water that comes, okay, let's just say other people that you're thinking of, maybe work situation, maybe family, I don't know, all got their toes on the side of the shore. You would be the feeling of a very sort of sweet, cool wave that crashes onto their feet over and over again. It's like you withdraw and then you come back and you wash them. You withdraw, then you come back and you wash their feet. I don't know if it's feet, but you know that feeling of fresh air, withdraw, because you almost like you sort of have to build yourself up again for the next wave, and then you build yourself up again for the next wave, because it feels like you've got sensitive energy here. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Right, love relationships, you've got the hidden strength. Once again, I wonder whether you keep yourself buried. You know, there is a Scorpio feeling coming across in this the more I go through it. You might keep yourself buried because you've got two pages again, which again is sweet, sweet, gorgeous, sweet. It's like somebody that doesn't trust themselves because they're aware that they're more than themselves. I can't say this in a very eloquent way. It's like you're, and I suppose I've got to go back to that thing at the beginning. You feel like an alien in a mad world in some way, with a shaman card and a psyche card there. You can read situations, you can read people. There's indecisiveness, there's doubt there. In relationships, it feels like innocence. It feels like, do you know what I think here, why I'm looking at this like inner strength? How do your lovers perceive your passion? I would say here that your lovers that you have had would say to you, you don't know your self-worth. Because, you know, the hidden strength, the shaman card, is big. There's something behind you that feels powerful and big, but comes across very sweet and very gentle. And you've got the Page of Cups and the Page of Wands. It's like starting. It's like you give bits of yourself, but why not give more? This is a case of, I'm just going to telling you off now. You've got more to give that's going to help people. Somebody in the comments actually put something. I think I must have mentioned money in one of the comments. The YouTube readings about a day or two ago, or a couple of days ago, and a couple of people commented saying that I don't think I am rich enough for my person. And my mum always used to say to me, you've got other qualities that make people's life rich. This has got this feeling of you have got other qualities that you need to share in other people's life, especially in personal relationships here. There's a sweetness, there's a gentle touch about you, there's just a gentle quality that possibly changes your lovers in some way, in a big way. Because you're like the little That's behind you. The wolf is behind you, but what is that? I know what's. I'm trying to think of big cat. The panther is behind you, and the little pussycat at the front. And then you've got two pages down here, which to me speaks of childlike small steps. Once again, a little wave breaking. Yeah, okay, this is almost like humming all together for me now. There's something about you that the way that you gently, I'm going to be romantic here, alight in people's life, you know, like a little bird in some way, and the way that you basically sing your own sweet song changes people in a deep way, in a very profound way. And that should never be underestimated. And that has got something to do with you feeling like you function in the mundane world, when you feel possibly, with a shaman card and psyche there, a part of another world. And we're not. Nobody's part of another world. We're here. We're all here. And we all have energies from other worlds inside us. I remember seeing something, I'm absolutely crap with any precise information. Absolutely awful. So the fact that by the time I finished it, nobody would believe I'd actually seen it anyway. But it was something to do with fixed stars, and it was, I've forgotten this, Plato? Maybe, I can't remember. Somebody really significant. I say honestly, details totally lost on me. And he's got it's a very old drawing, I think, or etching, and he's got a picture of the world inside. And I think he's got like stars on the outside, and on the inside, which I think is something very similar, which is stolen off this guy in the Vatican. I'm sure it's stolen off him. The world's sliced into layers, and the stars on the outside. And I think this is how I interpret it, as the stars, planets possibly, and fixed stars have energies that we can somehow hum to. This has a feeling that you probably hum to quite an intense hum, if you know what I mean. So there's something about you that is very sensitive. It makes me think of Neptune, to be honest. I'm talking stars, not so much planets here. Well, same thing, not really, but still, it's all energy here, and it feels to me like you have got like Neptune in your chart that's quite prominent in some way. This has a feeling of that because of softness, and there's like a big, you know, Neptune on the ascendant, or Neptune somewhere on an angle, or I don't know. It just, all I can do is I can feel it, and it feels as if it's a really strong, sweet, beautiful feeling of touching people's lives in some way that changes them. But it's almost like you expect to see the moon cards here, they don't even know it. It's like it seeps in. And that's probably why the wave thought came to me, because you would have to retreat, because you would feel bruised by our world. I was going to say then, you would feel bruised by that. And you would have to retreat to almost regain your powers, or your superhuman powers, until you came back again. Not superhuman powers, but to regain your balance. Okay, right, I'm going to start summing this up. Okay, power number 2. Your Eros, your passion is gentle and strong. It feels as if you have some otherworldly qualities to you. I would expect to see your chart possibly having very strong Neptune somewhere. Procyon, is it Procyon? I don't know how to say it. The fixed star I'm thinking of when I'm reading this that's the fixed star I'm thinking of. I think it's about 25 degrees Cancer, 26 degrees Cancer, but it has an otherworldly feel to it that's very helpful, very sweet, and nudges people into where they're meant to be going. You have self-doubt, I guess, from this pile, feeling like you don't fit into the world. So your passion is perceived by others as being extremely strong, extremely solid. And I wonder whether they put you into positions of responsibility in some way. But the Two of Pentacles down here makes me think that I'm going to switch off, because I've been talking a long time and the camera switches off. The Two of Pentacles down here makes me think that you possibly have to pull out of work situations at times, you know, have like your duvet day, or just You can't go out after work because you felt like you burnt yourself out with too much contact with people. People, with regards to how they perceive your passion in one-to-one relationships, is life-changing in very sort of subtle ways. There's a power behind you that people can see. They know that you can change the world around you, situations around you, people that you touch, but it has a feeling here, and I'm hesitating saying this, that they may not perceive it as it's happening because it's so subtle. It may be afterwards. They think, say if this is like an old relationship, you may be thinking of, oh my gosh, yes, I remember them. They made me think this, or they made me change that. It's like small, sweet whispers. Okay, pile number 2. I'm going to leave that there. I hope that helped in some way. Hope to see you again. Bye. Oh, don't forget to subscribe as well, because I said at the beginning, I don't know what subscribing, what it actually does. And then I'm thinking as I'm doing this, I think it helps it be seen by more people. So please subscribe if you're there. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, I'm trying to sort these out in my head. Pile number 3. There's a feeling here with regard to your passion that there is discrepancies in between each pile. This is you and your passion. This is how others perceive you. This is how lovers perceive you. There's a feeling here of you being very sort of sweet and childlike and open, but to a point. Generally your nature is that, but you always hold a little bit back of yourself. With regards to others, there's a feeling here you hold a lot back of yourself. With regards to lovers, it feels like you have an impact on people that is emotionally strong. They pick up your passion, I think, in a sort of an emotional way rather than a physical way, which is difficult to actually... I'll get to this pile last probably, but I'll explain it a little bit more when I'm thinking here. Let's just go straight back to you here. You've got the Page of Cups, you've got Palace. So the Page of Cups makes me think of somebody, because you've got cup cards down here as well, you've got the Six of Cups, which makes me think of somebody small. It makes me think of somebody who comes across as... It's a bit like it's coming in a situation without being seen, and somebody who has a soft touch, somebody who, and if we talked about this in other readings, the way that people put things, the way that you move, the way that you, your passion flows, I'm thinking, there's a smoothness about you, and it comes out in a very balanced and gentle way. And that, I think, is often the case. The energy that runs through is often, many ways, is evident in the way that we move, the way that we put objects down, the way that we pick objects up. Yet, without a doubt, this really interests me for some reason. I love watching people. I know you're thinking, get a life. I love watching people and the way that they move. I've got quite a lot of Libra friends, and the way that they pick things up is always quite delicate. And I remember once working in a leisure centre when I was probably in my 20s, in a swimming pool, and I was taking money as people came in, and this guy came in, and I'm guessing he just slammed the money down. And I just don't see that very often, because a lot of people I tend to hang around with are generally quite gentle, I think, not all the time. And I just looked at him, and it was obviously just his nature, that's just the way he was. But it took me back, and I looked at him, and he went through, just slammed the money down and carried on to these really nice old Victorian changing rooms. So all the changing rooms were like, single changing rooms all the way around the outside of the pool. It was really nice. And then went off to get changed. And his wife was looking at me as in, like, obviously the same nature, like, what's wrong with you? But I wasn't being antagonistic. It just took me by surprise. It was just different ways that our energy comes out of our bodies. That is part of our passion. I have a feeling here with Palace and the Page of Cups and the Six of Cups, there's something very sweet and very smooth about the way that you move. it honestly makes me think, and I talk about this often as well, as Neptune with regards to dancing. There's nothing like somebody with a strong Neptune, watching them dance and their love of dance. They've just got the rhythm for everything. Uranus has the impact of the rhythm because everything's on point, but Neptune moves in a way that's very in tune with its surroundings, or a beat, but more in a flowing way, and that is what I'm getting from you. Palace to me, it speaks of different things. You know, you read things in books and sometimes it feels right, and sometimes I think, well, I actually haven't found that myself. Palace to me is always one different for me, because to me it's like recognition of rhythm. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just having revelations here. That Neptune feeling again, it's recognition of rhythm, rhythm of life, rhythm of cycles, and that must be part of you as well. So what I'm thinking with regards to your passion, with what I've got so far, is subtlety and understanding. But with the Sun card there, it's like that, you know, you've got the very childlike feeling, but in this card, which is Major Arcana compared to all the other cards, you're riding your horse. You're on your pony. There's a feeling here that you know how to play with life, but you do it in a very gentle way. There's something quite strong in your childlike qualities. There's something quite strong in your innocence. There's something quite strong in the fact that you can sit back and watch and not have to always charge in. You can do it if you need to, but there's a feeling here, because the Sun card is a beautiful card to me. It feels of brightness, it feels of knowing and understanding, but it's got more of a depth to it, because it makes me feel of you're aware of why you're here. You're aware of why you're here, and you've got most of these powers are similar, to be honest. There's a gentle push to you. But I wonder whether people that come to tarot card readings tend to have some, you know, in some way share similar dispositions. I can't believe that's true, because we're all so different, but these are your readings today. To me, it feels like you know why you're playing, you do it gently. So the energy that runs through you, 99% feels frictionless. It feels as if, and it comes out in a very subtle way, which, you know, it's funny that you've got the Temperance card here at the end with regards to the Lovers pile here, because the Temperance to me is energy that is very balanced. You understand why you're here, and you're letting it flow freely. 1 foot on the ground, 1 foot in the water. And that's Sagittarius as well. You know, Palace there, understanding rhythms, understanding cycles, understanding what happened last week, why it happened, and looking at yourself. Understanding what happened in your relationship, or your past relationships, the past 3 relationships, the same thing happened. Looking internally at yourself, but being gentle with yourself. Very, oh, you're so wise. It's a very wise feeling here, but there's also a slight defensiveness as well. It feels like you hold a little bit back of yourself. There's more that you could possibly give to other people. Maybe, to be honest, after what I've just said, there's more you could be more gentle with yourself. Yeah, it's probably both, to be honest. There's a feeling here, possibly you will know better than I do, of holding bits back, because you you don't want to be burnt by other people, because this energy is smooth and soft. Very much feelings of pile number 2, but there could be a feeling, I think it's more so that, but there's a feeling here maybe of holding things back. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. I'm going to leave that there, because this pile here is telling me different things. So I need to know whether it's you holding it back for yourself or with regards to others. Let me go into this pile here. How do other people perceive your passion who aren't lovers? Just the general public, people that you work with, people, you know, your family possibly, people that you communicate with. 9 of Wands here, you've got twice. So this is why I'm jumping to this card here. People think that you hold back. And I wonder whether, because you've got the 5 of Wands here with regards to your passion, it feels like softness that comes out as spikiness, possibly, with regards to yeah, this pile is smooth, this pile is sweet, this pile is not wanting to be bruised. How do people perceive you? As you've got not wanting to be bruised, and you've got the Five of Wands on top, and the Prince of Wands here, who says what they, Prince of Wands will say what he thinks. Nine of Wands feels defensive. Five of Wands got a gun in the hand. So I wonder whether you can sometimes be spiky with regards to people who step on your sensitivities in some way. I have people in my mind. The reason I've gone quiet is the people that I know that act like this are Libra Pisces. Because they're so sweet, so soft, so gentle, easily bruised, want life to be balanced, want life to be nice. And their energy comes across like that. So their passions are that. Their passions are very much temperance, spread out, flowing. It's like water. And you possibly, with regards to not wanting to get hurt, may actually nip occasionally. I had a friend, once upon a time, a long time ago, I had a friend. She was double Pisces Libra, really beautiful lady. Really beautiful lady, very artistic. But when we went out together, she never said a bad thing about anybody. Didn't have a bad, well, she might have had, but I never saw a bad bone in her body. But if we were out together when we were like kids, like 19, when you first start going out, actually, no, you've been going out for years, but you've been hiding it. She always used to get picked on. People were very violent with her, and I never knew what it was. Never knew. So I wonder whether, with regards to your passion here and how others perceive it, there's something inside you that kicks off other people's insecurities in some way. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why. You've got cards at the bottom of, because these are quite antagonistic cards. The Nine of Wands with regards to how people perceive your passion, and the Five of Wands is people perceive it as being quite spiky. So I'm getting a feeling here it goes from smoothness to sweetness, which is you, to being in public, whether you don't enjoy being in the public eye, whether you feel that people are against you in some way. And so you almost get like a little suit of armour on, and then you get equipped. You're equipped for it, and the Prince of Wands is not afraid to shoot off their mouth. And then you've got cards. You've got the Nothing card comes out, which is a spare card in this pack. And then I put across it the Prince of Cups, which is somebody who's holding the heart to the head. People don't get to see you in the general public. People get to see what is a tempered down version of you in case you get bruised, because there's a softness and a sweetness and an awareness about you. This is so much like pile number 2 that I think here with the Prince of Cups at the bottom and the Nothing card, that's what you hold back. You hold back this from the general public, and they get a little bit more of a tough exterior, I think. So how do people perceive your passion, your energy, your in life is a little bit firmer than you actually are, I think. There's a gentleness about you, but there's a defensiveness that comes out in both piles. You've got the Nine of Wands twice. It's like holding your own and waiting to see whether you trust people before you actually turn into the Prince of Cups. So there's not many people I think get that close to you. This has got a feeling of somebody who has a close, possibly a very close friendship group. And you reveal a lot to yourself and your passions and your thoughts on where you want to go in life. But the average person doesn't get to see the inner you. Okay, now lovers on the other side get full flow. I think lovers, you reveal yourself with, it's like somebody who, possibly that Pisces Libra feeling that I mentioned. You don't have to be that. It's just an energy, a type of a feeling I get from the cards. You may reveal a lot more with very, very close, people you're very close with, male or female, because that's what you feel like you're built for in some way, because you possibly, not so much in a Pluto way like the one-to-one relationships, but you feel that the closeness of one-to-one relationships is easy for you to let your guard down. Because you've got guard here, slight guard in your general disposition. And then the Temperance card here is flow. And the World card here is like you've been through everything, and with regards to relationships, you've almost got it sussed with regards to one-to-one relationships here. There's possibly confusion here in some way that has got a lot to do with, I'm going to say this, and I don't know, please take this with a pinch of salt. It's a general reading. It's not all going to apply to you. You've got the Knight of Cups at the bottom. You've got the Moon card here, which is confusion in some ways, generally sort of emotional confusion, things not being clear. And you've got Temperance card here with a fish on it. So there's something that things may be quite unclear with regards to emotions in this, with regards to how people perceive your passion, maybe watery but unclear. I'll try and give you an example how your lovers would perceive that. Okay, to me it feels like confessions of love, but maybe without action, interest without action. It's like it's strong, you're attracted to people in a strong way. So your lovers perceive it, they feel it, and then you may not always act on it. So people can't quite grasp you in some way. But the World card here, the World card here is, to me, always feels like a really clever card. It's like you've done it, you're going through your next portal here, you've done that bit. So I wonder whether it's a feeling here, whether you've done it all before, those close one-to-one relationships. You enjoy it, you put your energy into it, you put your emotional energy into it, but there's almost like you've not invested everything. And with the Lovers card here, it's like, that's all right. With Everybody Else card here, it's like, no, that's not all right, give a bit more. Open up a bit more. But with the Lovers, this is a strange feeling. The Lovers' power with regards to how people perceive your passion, they feel it as if you understand relationships. There's an innate understanding of emotions here with the World next to the Moon. The Knight of Cups has a very romantic quality, and the Temperance card has balance. So the Temperance and the World to me make me think of somebody who has a balanced emotional view of how to function in relationships, and it's been built on experience with the World card there. But they may perceive it, okay, Moon and the Knight of Cups, they may perceive it as confusing. It's like, yes, you love, but don't come too close because you don't need to lean on me type of feeling. Not, and this is in a good way, not in a bad way. This is a feeling of you understand what relationships actually are. You understand why you're with somebody in close contact, and you understand that lessons sometimes with the World card here, they don't last forever. It feels like you flow into relationships, and it feels like with regards to people picking up your passion, it's easy and strong and non-clinging. That's what I'm trying to say. This is a nice feeling in how people pick up your passion in personal relationships, how your lovers pick up your passion, is flow that's not needy. Strong flow. You're focused on them, the intensity's there, the emotion's being given, but there's an understanding here, there's no grasping. In this pile here, and regards to this, you'll still hold back. It's unless you release yourself with regards to one-to-one relationships, you almost hold back a bit. And I don't know whether, there could be like a Cancer field there, that unless it's a close relationship, really, it does not really on your radar. So why give that much? Why suffer that much? If you're quite vulnerable in some way, you're not vulnerable, that's the wrong word. If you're quite sensitive in some way, why would you put yourself on the line? So you're almost a bit, very Cancer feeling. You've got a shell with regards to, you've got a shell with regards to how people perceive your passion in general relationships is probably quite guarded. You're very interesting. Very, very, if this strikes true to anybody here, it's really interesting pile. It feels like you come alive in love relationships. It feels that, all those piles have a very wise understanding feel about it. And there's a gentleness about you that doesn't like to reveal itself in general relationships too much. But you fall in love, Knight of Cups, you know, I think you fall in love quite hard. But with the Palace there and understanding rhythms and cycles, and the Sun card there of awareness that you fall in love hard, but you realise it's a bit of a game. You know, it's a bit of a game, and they might find that confusing with regards to your passion. You may be absolutely really at home with that, absolutely really at home. You may be aware of it and it feels okay to you, but I wonder whether your lovers I wonder whether everybody finds you quite confusing. Sweetness, awareness. Slight, very sensitive here. Possibly Cancer again. You text a Cancer, you know they're the most sweetest, loveliest person on earth. Their texts come back as terse. I'm like, what is that? I know you really well. It's like, I'm just wondering if you'd like to No. But I know the person's really nice. I wonder whether this is part of you, whether sometimes you don't even know that you do it, but you can be quite... Scorpio too. You can be quite firm. And it's a bit shocking because people think this. People think the Page of Cups and the Sun. And then sometimes you can be a bit terse, which is out of character with a complete sort of sweetness that people perceive you as over here. And then with regards to relationships, I am winding it up here now. With regards to relationships, once again, slight confusion here because of the intensity that you like to get involved in one-to-one relationships. Confuses people, but I think that you're on the right track. It's probably, possibly, stick that in there and be very, can you see it? With regards to the moon here, I'd put the sun over the top of that, which is part of your nature anyway, and be very clear with what you want in relationships. And what you want, what you want and what you're going to give. Because you know it, I don't think they find it quite so easy. Could be Pisces as Cancer. I don't know. Okay, pile number 3. Thank you very much for joining me. And I know I said I don't know why people subscribe at the beginning. But I have actually realised within actually saying it, it's because it reaches more people. So please do subscribe. If you enjoy the videos, please do subscribe. I probably knew that as I said it. I just don't talk complete crud at the beginning. Okay, thank you very much. Bye.